Welcome to IELTS CELPIP MasterPrep, your trusted source for real exam-based practice tests. Every test you see here is inspired by current exam trends, and each one comes with full model solutions to help you master every section. Here's our daily schedule. IELTS tests drop every morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern, and CLP tests every evening at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. No matter which exam you're preparing for, we've got you covered every single day. Are you ready for today's test? Give it your best shot and comment your score. The top 5 scorers will be featured in our monthly Achievers newsletter and awards. Want your name included? Let's begin.
Part 1. You will hear a man contacting an employment insurance office about his claim. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 10. Now listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 10. Thank you for calling Service Canada Employment Insurance. My name is Sandra Mitchell. How can I help you today? Hi Sandra, my name is Kevin Tremblay. I'm calling because I submitted my EI claim about 3 weeks ago, and I still haven't received any payments. My last day of work was April 18th. I'm sorry to hear that, Kevin. Let me pull up your file. Could you please provide me with your social insurance number? Sure, it's 972-415-638. I was laid off from Clearwater Construction after 6 years because they lost a major contract. My record of employment should already be in the system. Yes, I can see your ROE was submitted electronically by your employer on April 22nd. Now, the reason for the delay is that your file has been flagged for review. It appears there's a discrepancy between the hours reported on your ROE and what was entered on your initial application. Your ROE shows 1,420 insurable hours, but your application states 1,200 hours. Oh, I see. I must have made a mistake when I filled out the online form. I was pretty stressed that week. The 1,420 hours on the ROE is the correct number. Is there a way to fix that? Absolutely. I can submit a correction on your behalf right now. Once that's processed, your claim should move forward. Based on your hours and your previous earnings of $950 per week, you'd be looking at a benefit rate of $523 weekly, paid every 2 weeks. Okay, that's helpful. And how long will it take before I actually receive the first payment? I've got rent due on June 1st, and I'm getting a bit worried. I understand your concern. There's a standard 1-week waiting period that's already been served since your claim start date was April 27th. Once I process this correction today, it typically takes 5 to 7 business days for the payment to be deposited into your account. So you should see it by May 26th at the latest. That cuts it close, but I think I can manage. One more question. I've been doing some job searching already. Do I need to report that somewhere? Yes, absolutely. You're required to complete bi-weekly reports through my Service Canada account online. In those reports, you'll confirm that you're available for work, document your job search activities, you need a minimum of 3 job contacts per reporting period, and declare any earnings if you do pick up casual work. 3 contacts per period, got it. And what if I find part-time work while I'm on EI? Would I lose my benefits completely? That is the end of Part 1. You now have some time to check your answers to Part 1. Part 2. You will hear a local councillor discussing infrastructure investment plans. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 20. Now listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 20. Good evening, residents of Brampton. I'm Councillor Diane Whitfield, and I'm here to outline our new infrastructure investment plan, which was approved by Council just last Tuesday. Over the next 3 years, we'll be investing a total of $470 million across the city. Our top priority is repairing aging water mains, particularly in the older neighborhoods east of downtown. We've already secured partial funding through a federal grant that covers roughly 35% of the total budget. The remaining funds will come from municipal bonds issued next January. Now, the second major focus is expanding our cycling network by adding 62 kilometers of protected bike lanes, mainly along Queen Street and Vauden Road. Construction on the water main repairs will begin in September of this year, and we expect completion by the spring of 2028. For the cycling lanes, work starts next March. We're also setting aside $12 million specifically for upgrading 3 community recreation centers, including the Cassie Campbell facility. To keep everyone informed, we'll be launching an online dashboard where residents can track project milestones in real time. Public consultation sessions will be held monthly at City Hall starting in June. I encourage everyone to participate and share your feedback. Together we can build a stronger, more connected Brampton. Thank you. That is the end of Part 2. You now have some time to check your answers to Part 2. Part 3. You will hear a group discussion between employees and their manager about flexible work-from-home policies. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 30. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 30. Thanks for meeting today. Head office wants us to finalize our flexible work-from-home policy by the end of the month. That's great news. A lot of us on the development team have been hoping for at least 2 remote days per week. Same on the marketing side. We ran a survey last quarter, and 80% of our staff preferred a hybrid model. I saw that survey. The challenge is maintaining collaboration, especially for cross-department projects. We could designate Tuesdays and Thursdays as mandatory in-office days so teams can meet face-to-face. That works for us too. We'd still have 3 flexible days to manage independently. What about employees who have long commutes from places like Barrie or Hamilton? Should we offer them additional remote days? I think so. Some of our best developers live outside the GTA. We don't want to lose them over a commute. Agreed. We could allow up to 4 remote days for anyone commuting more than 90 minutes each way. Good point. I also want to address equipment. The company will provide a monitor and ergonomic chair for home offices. That's generous. Could we also get a small monthly stipend for internet costs? Maybe $40 or $50? I'd support that. If we finalize everything this week, we could pilot the program starting in June and review it after 3 months. Perfect. I'll draft the proposal tonight and circulate it tomorrow for feedback. Sounds like a plan. I'll share it with my team right away. Wonderful. I'm confident this policy will boost both morale and retention across the company. That is the end of Part 3. You now have some time to check your answers to Part 3. Part 4. You will hear a lecture on urban planning and green infrastructure in Canada. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40. Welcome back, everyone. Today we're joined by Professor Okafor from the University of Toronto's School of Urban Planning. Mark, could you start by explaining what green infrastructure actually means in a Canadian urban context? Certainly, Catherine. Green infrastructure refers to natural or semi-natural systems that provide ecological services within cities, things like bioswales, green roofs, urban forests, and permeable surfaces. In Canada, these systems must be designed to handle our extreme seasonal variations, from heavy spring runoff to winter freeze-thaw cycles. So how are Canadian municipalities currently integrating these systems into their planning frameworks? Many cities now require green infrastructure in new developments. Vancouver's rainwater management guidelines, for instance, mandate on-site stormwater retention. Toronto has its green roof bylaw requiring vegetated roofs on large commercial buildings. These policies shift responsibility from centralized drainage systems to distributed, nature-based solutions. Critics argue these mandates increase construction costs significantly. How do you respond to that concern? The upfront costs are real, but life cycle analyses consistently show net savings. Green roofs extend membrane life by 20 years, reduce cooling costs, and decrease pressure on municipal stormwater systems. Montreal estimated savings of $40 million over 25 years from their green infrastructure plan. What about equity considerations? Do all neighborhoods benefit equally? That's a critical issue. Historically, wealthier neighborhoods have more tree canopy and green space. Cities like Edmonton are now using equity mapping to prioritize green infrastructure investments in underserved communities, addressing both environmental and social justice goals simultaneously. Looking ahead, what emerging trends should planners watch for? I'd highlight 3 areas: integrating Indigenous land stewardship knowledge into design, using AI-driven sensors to optimize green system performance, and developing cold climate bioretention cells that function effectively through Canadian winters. These innovations will define the next generation of sustainable urban planning in this country. That is the end of Part 4. You now have some time to check your answers to Part 4. That is the end of the CELPIP listening test. You now have some time to transfer your answers to the answer sheet.
Before you go, don't forget to like this video, share it with other test takers, and subscribe so you never miss your daily IELTS and CELPIP tests. Drop your score in the comments. Your name could be featured in our monthly Achievers newsletter. Stay consistent, stay focused, and keep leveling up with MasterPrep.